And the winner for the Game of the Year for Gamescom, Expedition 33. That's the difference between the West and the East. At least Asians, mostly we respect the game. Asian Gamescom nominated, or in this case awarded, Expedition 33 Game of the Year over Ghost of Yotei.
And the winner of the 2025 Game of the Year award is... not you!
How dare you?
Justice.
Oh, I love that. I love that, folks. Really do. Let's see what...
Space Pirates. This is your Admiral, the always optimal Dr. Disaster. And the first Game of the Year award that was handed out this year
little recap,
was
folks.
given to just about the worst game that I have ever had the curse of seeing. Dragon Age: The Veilguard. And of course, the most wretched mainstream media outlets like Game Rant here celebrated this fact big time.
This is where you zip it, all right? The adult is talking.
Before we let Dr. Disaster continue, you want to know what the votes are for... You want to know what the votes? Because I'm certain some of you do, but there are some of you who don't. 90% of votes go to critics and industry journalists, such as Game Rant, IGN, and 10% gamers. What kind of nonsense is that?
Of course, the headlines on most of these articles failed to mention that this award that they won was at the award show called the Gaming Awards. And honestly, that's kind of like letting the Kansas City Chiefs vote on who should be given the Super Bowl trophy this year. Methinks there may be a bit of bias at a show called the Gaming Awards.
I mean, seriously, look at these guys. Look at them, folks. This is already stupid.
Everybody's always gay with you.
Well, when I heard that the Veilguard was the first Game of the Year winner in 2025, I was afraid that this was a sign of things to come and that all the award shows were going to feature really shitty games that did not deserve that sort of recognition. Easily one of the best games of the year, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, wasn't even nominated for a Game of the Year award yet at the Golden Joysticks.
Pardon me, but that's bullshit.
Well, I do have some good news for once, though. Apparently, the Asians have actually good taste in gaming. The discourse over there hasn't been completely ruined by activists disguised as journalists who openly despise the people that partake in the gaming hobby, calling us all chuds.
And
the news is that over at the Asian Gamescom X Thailand event, Clair Obscur has won its first Game of the Year award. And for all the people out there who are rooting for this year's Dragon Age: The Veilguard, aka Ghost of Yotei, for anyone hoping that that game would even get mentioned and nab one of the side awards at a show like this, like Best Action Game or something like that, well, I've got two words for you.
Tough shit, you know?
This is the cultural difference between the Asians and the West. Yes, we Asians may have our own political leaning or anything, but when it comes to products, whether it's movies, video games, whatever it is, that will bring us revenue, bring us money, and especially in a time where economic is like a dumpster fire, which the Asians will have to choose the one that gives them more money, meaning good game, good product.
Alright, me arties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've had a lot of people tell me that they've been unwillingly unsubscribed to the channel, so make sure you look into that, and also give me a follow over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. And if you feel like supporting the channel and helping keep the lights on, consider becoming a member for as little as $5 per month. Anyhow, let's take a peek at Clair Obscur's big win. And to be clear, they really ought to sweep every Game of the Year award that is handed out in 2025. For cripe's sake, look at this game's Metacritic score. Even the game journalists loved this game and gave it a 92 out of 100, and gamers rated it a freaking 9.6 out of 10, which is extremely high. And that is especially impressive when you look at how many people have actually dropped reviews in for that game on this site. They hit a 9.6 on over 21,000 reviews. That is an insane number of people who were motivated enough by their love of this game to drop into Metacritic and say that it kicks ass. For a bit of perspective, Here is the Metacritic score for Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh yeah, this game
was absolutely huge, selling 10 million copies in its first month, and if you look at the user review score, they had only a little over 1,000 people drop reviews for this game.
Let's be clear one thing about Monster Hunter Wild, okay? Monster Hunter Wild has a de novo DRM. Initially, they will have like what, 1.3 million players. Additionally, long term, guess what happens? From 1.3 million players on Steam, it drops. Because of the performance issues, not just on low-end tier graphics card, but in high-end. I don't know if Hypnotic suffers that. What about you guys? If any of you who has played Monster Hunter Wild, what was your graphics card is when you played that game? Was it a 40 series or a 30 series? If so, what's the frame rate?
For Mario Kart World, that game was obviously huge as well, but they didn't even get 3,000 people reviewing it. And then, if we take a look at how it was received on Steam, you can see that Clair Obscur is overwhelmingly positive, with about a 95% rating on over 170,000 total reviews. And then here is the rating for the game on the PlayStation Network. They achieved a 4.9 out of 5 stars, which is just about the highest score ever on PSN. Suffice to say, this is an extremely popular game, and whatever award show does not give this the Game of the Year basically just doesn't deserve to be taken seriously at all. That being said, as I said before, Clair Obscur didn't even receive a Game of the Year nomination at the Golden Joysticks yet.
It was snubbed according to what we heard.
For Game of the Year.
According to what I've heard, Clair Obscur was snubbed. Now I don't know about Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year, but then you ask yourself this: who goes, or in this case, who watches the Game of the Year? No, generally, who? Unless of course you're watching video game trailers and all that. But other than that, nobody goes to the Game of the Year, or in this case, the Game Awards. Even back then, back in the early 2000s or something, the Game of the Year were the ones that really truly all about gamers. But now, look at it. Which reminds me, in my third channel, I'm probably gonna make a series that is called Playing Video Games That Will Never Be Given Game of the Year. We'll see. Sorry, that's what happens when you talk a lot.
Console and Game of the Year on PC, both of which Clair Obscur would have been eligible for. But if you look at the list, you will see that they weren't even nominated. Ghost of Yote got a Console Game of the Year nomination, but not Clair Obscur. I'm happy to see that Hollow Knight Silksong is on the list for PC Game of the Year, and I hope it wins that, but Clair Obscur had better be on their list for Ultimate Game of the Year, or whatever little credibility that this shitty award show has left will be flushed down the toilet. All they have to do, all that the Golden Joysticks has to do is nominate Clair Obscur and let the gamers handle the rest. I can pretty much promise that this game will win any voting that comes from gamers. But anyhow, let's look now at this award that Expedition 33 did already win at the Asian Gamescom.
Okay, before we let Dr. Disaster continue, I'd be happy to say, as an Asian myself, I would happily like any game. We Asians, when it comes to video games, we give them a chance, okay? If the game is good, I mean, they deserve to be nominated. As an Asian, okay, yes, we have our political biases and all that. Again, I'm reminding you this. Despite the political biases, when it comes to making money, like for example, video games or food, movies, whatever it is, the choices is that either we think about the money or we think about the virtue signaling. In this case, we Asians, we need to make more money because the economy here is a dumpster fire, mostly at least. So that's why Asians prefer good game.
This article here comes from the outlet videogamer.com, which I will link in the description, and the headline tells us that Clair Obscur has won its first Game of the Year. The article says here, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 just won the coveted Game of the Year prize at the massive Gamescom Asia x Thailand game show event. This is the first Game of the Year awarded to Clair Obscur so far,
Pardon me,
but
that's my
it's
fan.
presumably the first of many, as Clair is predicted to win more before 2025 ends. The event in Thailand drew a massive crowd of over 206,000 attendees, and Clair Obscur Expedition 33 dominated the night by taking home the most trophies. Not only did Sandfall win Game of the Year, they also won Best RPG, Best PC/console game, and the most popular. Below is the full list of game industry winners, and if you go down that list, you will not see a single mention of the likes of Ghost of Yotei or Assassin's Creed Shadows, despite the fact that the Japanese
Congratulations.
and other Asian people supposedly loved those games due to
Nope.
their supposed
Ghost of Yotei doesn't.
realistic reflection
Japan doesn't like
of
it.
Asian cultures. But the fact that
Clair
neither of
Obscur,
them are
congratulations.
on this list is a sign that yes, Asian people are still sane. Good for them. Anyways, the article then says, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is predicted to win more Game of the Year awards before 2025 wraps up. It is currently leading the most amount of nominations for the Golden Joystick Awards, and it is seeking an historic Grammy nomination for the video
Grammy?
games industry. Of course, the biggest event is Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, scheduled for December 11th. There are no nominations yet, but Clair Obscur Expedition 33 seems a shoo-in for Game of the Year and many other categories. And just to give you an idea as to how much people are in the corner for this game, when it comes to the Game Awards, look at this post here from the official Game Awards X account. They asked, which games would you like to see nominated for Best Score and Music at the Game Awards in December? And now, I know that this isn't for the Game of the Year award, but still, just look at the response from people.
Don't worry, I'll leave the full video link in the description. Again, I apologize for all this interruption. It happens every single time. Dr. Disaster was right. We at least were sane. Because look at this. When it comes to making money, okay? All Asians have their own political biases. That is true. When it comes to making money in the times where economics is like a dumpster fire, Asians will prefer things that can make more money. Because if they choose virtue signaling over that, the country will fall apart, poverty will increase through the roof, and there'll be nothing left. So I'm not certain about the Game of the Year. Then again, don't forget, this is Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year. Remember, 90% of critics and 10% of gamers. If they don't nominate Clair Obscur Expedition 33 at Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year, I recommend all of you check out of the Game of the Year shows, because nobody goes to the Game of the Year anymore. I mean, people do this because of one simple thing: trailers. That's it. Nothing more. So in my third channel, I will be making a new series, maybe next month, about games that will never be given Game of the Year awards.